onslaught of enemies came for the ghosts, and they were ready.
What's going on, good people? It's your boy Peacemaker back with another video. So, as I stated in my last video with my mercenary build, I was gonna follow up with my hunter slash archer build, and let's get right into that. I'm gonna try to shorten this one up. I'm not gonna make this one as long. I'm not gonna go into the extra details. Well, I may throw some extra details in there, but that's neither here or there. I'm gonna just go straight to show all the details. So this is what I did with my mercenary build. I do want to get away from this purifying healing incense because I think I use it too often, but for my playstyle it has been working well. I've been using the basic charm, the hurricane, Hanaku, I think that's right. The yummy that anyways, I'm not even go that route. The relentless, I still don't know how to pronounce this word for the what is it? Relentless Kusharama. I think I said that right. The Swift Yari and the Shattering Katana. Now, what I went for with this build, honestly, I have, let's see, one, two, have two ability cooldowns, both with, well, one is with the Shattering Kunai and the other one is with the Swift Yari. I also went with the perfect counter damage on both the Katana and the Swift Yari. And since I'm so used to the Shinobi build with my Relentless Kursharama, I believe I said that right. I also went with the perfect counter damage and a perfect parry window. Now with my perfect parry window, I really don't need that much of a big parry window, but sometimes the game does kind of bug out, so sometimes I may roll two perfect parry windows. But with this build, since it's a ranged build, I don't have to worry about it as often. But as of right now, that puts me at, well, as far as my perfect counter damage, that puts us at 30, 60. That puts us at 90% perfect counter damage with just the first three gears. And as I stated in my last video, I always start with the top, which would be number one, and then the bottom one would be number 7. So let's get into number 4, which is the Urami. I think I said yummy before. I believe I'm a little hungry, but anyways, really with that weapon, I just focus on the range damage. Well, not just the range damage, because the yeah, I struggle with pronunciations a little bit. The Urami, I believe I said that right. Since it does have a, well, I can explain it better this way. It states here that this is a high damage but a slow draw time. Well, this weapon has a high damage but slow draw time, so that's why I focused on increasing the range speed by 11% just to reduce that draw time, and I increased the damage by another 22%. Yeah. All right. So by me increasing the damage with this, the Yumari, yeah, I probably don't pronounce like 7 different names. It just goes to show you that I'm not AI. I'm human. I do struggle with my pronunciations, but if someone showed me, I'll say it right. But getting into the Hurricane Hana Kayu, I believe, I increased the damage on it because that's really my main range weapon. And I increased the damage on it by 12%, and I also increased the range damage on it also by another 25%. So if you combine the range damage that I'm getting from the B.K.W.R, which is the Yumari, that's 22. Then we also have range damage increased by another 12%. So 22 and 12, that puts us at 34. And then you add another 25 to that with the hurricane. So 24, 25, that puts you right at 39% range damage, almost 40. Alright, let's get into gear 6, which is the basic charm, which is the spirit heal effect. I increased that by 45%. That's just like my emergency heal in case, let's say, my purifying healing instant is still on the cooldown. Lastly, just to kind of boost the perfect parry window of the relentless Kishirorama, which is already at 36%. I boosted it up just a little bit more just to give me some defense just in case I get cornered. With that puts my perfect parry window at, let's see, that's 72%. Put it in math right, yeah, 36. Yeah, that puts us right at like 72%, but with a perfect parry window. And then lastly, with my gear 7, the purified healing instant, ghost 2 cooldowns reduction by 12%, and that's solely just for the purifying healing instant, because if I remember correctly, it does have a 90-second cooldown, so reducing that by an additional 12%, that's going to give me some extra spirit to get into what I'm gonna go over with my techniques. I think, no, is it techniques or perks? I think it's the perks. And then lastly, with the purifying healing instant, I went with the status effect damage by 25%. And the only reason I say that is because with the main range weapon I like to use, for my perk 3, I rolled fire arrows, which adds a small number of fire arrows. And I'll get into what I did with my techniques, and you'll see how my gear ties into with what I did with it. Obviously, you already know her ultimate. So with my techniques, instead of from what I've seen a lot of people do this. The shadow flame arrow that fires an arrow that deals explosive damage on impact and leaves lingering flames. That is really nice, but upon everyone fighting the dragon, I noticed a lot of people, I don't know what they did with their builds, but they'll do repeated shadow flame arrow attacks, and it's nice, but the issue is not only are you, let's say if you got teammates that's in that blast radius, you're doing damage to your teammates as well. And again, just my playstyle, I like to go against the grain. Even before I seen the build where people do repeated shadow flame arrows, I was going for the empowered anyway, which is called the empowered hunter. This here is going to increase damage and speed of ranged weapons for a brief duration. While active, projectiles gain piercing and have a massive chance of not consuming ammo. With the shadow flame arrow, you don't have to worry about losing arrows because it's a class ability, and you're really going for status effects. But again, I don't want to do damage to my teammate, so I'm more efficient with the empowered hunter. Now for my perk 1, you have 3 options. Last one on perk 1 will be the ability cooldown by 15%. The second one for perk 1 will be increase maximum spirit by 2%. And then the first one for perk 1 is lethal proximity, which is going to increase range damage by 30% for targets within 12 meters, which is pretty reasonable considering how hard the NPCs push you. Alright, so for my perk 2, I stuck with the resupply, which is going to refill 25% of all ammo types. Press X while aiming to activate. The other one you could have went with depending on your playstyle, which is point blank body shots with ranged weapons have a 40% chance of inflicting headshot damage. And then lastly, for the last choice for perk 2 is serrated shots, Arrows and bullets inflict Maha. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get that right one day. Arrows and bullets inflict Maha for a brief duration, making targets vulnerable to any weapon. That is efficient, considering this weapon here. It allows. Wait, let's see. Not allows. With the Hurricane, fires at double speed but cannot be aimed. That's the only downfall. But if you can really get used to it, you can just like tap L2 over and over again. You can just pick a different target. Its arrows inflict money. I'm gonna just say money. It its arrows inflict money, making enemies briefly vulnerable to any melee weapon. So you could technically pair that with the serrated shots and go for the double vulnerability, but that doesn't mean anything if you don't have any arrows. So that's why I chose the resupply. I believe it's the basic charm. Yes, you can stack the archer supply on top of the resupply, which is going to refill 25% of ammo of all ammo types. And if you decide to take this route with the archer supply, that's going to give you an additional 15% of all ammo types. So you got 15 and 25. That puts you right at what, 40% of refill for the ammos. But the most important detail I want to go over with this, it does cost one spirit whenever you do that. So that's the reason why I kind of stuck with the purifying healing innocent, because deploying this grants spirit and heals nearby allies. Uh-oh, went too far. Then lastly, for my perk 3, you do have different options. I went with the consuming flame. Shots from your ultimate trigger a shadow flame explosion, inflicting damage to nearby enemies and setting them on fire, which is not really too much different than the shadow flame. But I know with the consuming flames, I'm not doing status effects to my teammates. Or you can go with the all seeing eye, which the ultimate can target 2 more enemies. Or if you really want to like never run out of ammo at all, you can go with the bountiful ammo, which is firing ultimate, restores 65% of all ammo types. So if you can, let's say if you did go this route, you got 65 plus the 25. That's 80. Then you have another what, 15? So you almost replace all your ammo if you stack all 3 of those together. And lastly, with my range damage, I do want to make sure I don't mention that. Don't forget to mention that. I could, let's see, what is it? I could increase the damage on the Yotei by another 11%, which increased my range damage overall to, let's see, make sure I don't get it wrong. Say if we had 22 plus the 12, that puts us at 24. Plus another 25, that makes 39. And if you add another 11 to that, 9, that puts you right at 50%, I believe, if I did my math right. 50% range damage on top of the passive abilities, which is going to give you, yes, the increased range damage by another 20%. So it's a lot of different routes you can go with that, but my thing was I want to be efficiently as possible with this build. So for my playstyle, this is what worked for me. And it does do well against all bosses, not I will say all bosses, but majority of the bosses, even the dragon and Sanato. So I'll show you. this is just what I like to do with empowered. Now, granted, I forgot this one last thing. I just remembered it. So let's say if you went with the lightning Tanakasama. I don't believe I pronounced that right. So please be changed in the comments. You can like use empowered with this weapon here too as well. So I'm gonna take a quick shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll say about 4.5 seconds to reload. Granted, I don't have the reload speed maxed out just yet, which I'm assuming it's gonna cap out at like what is this? It's gonna cap out at 14%. So I'm gonna say a 4-second reload. But I'm gonna take a shot at this. But I'm gonna roll in power though. So if you want to be like a quick draw McGraw with that, you can do that as well. Just wanted to go ahead and point that out. But I'm just more efficient with the Hurricane, because the only downfall I found with using the empowered with this long gun, you only get 4 bullets. Now you could roll where you get like what is it, 1 extra one. So that boosts you up to 7. Now we got our empowered bag. I was hoping to see another red balloon. But I guess since we got so many blue ones, we'll do it this way. Obviously you're gonna run out of ammo because I'm not actually in a match, but I just want to put that on display. But for me, the Hurricane is the way to go. At least I get 10 arrows, and then on top of that, 5 fire arrows. So with the Hurricane, preferably your reload is gonna be like what, maybe 0.5 seconds tops, because it's already got like a really fast reload. And this is just a normal speed. Now if you combine that with the empowered, and say if you set them on fire first and then swap the regular arrows, you can like literally watch that health bar like deplete really quickly. So give that a shot. Let me know what you all think, and then in my next video I will be going over the samurai, which I'm probably gonna have that done, that build done at least by maybe another day or 2. I did change some things up, so that's why it took a little bit longer. I had it complete, but then I found something better, and I want to complete that, so whenever I present it, you're completely up to speed as to what I did with my samurai build. But that's gonna wrap it up for me. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy.